And the rich aren't going to have this financial advantage from owning highly appreciated assets when not having to work. It will shift the balance back to the everyday person. This is exactly what happened in the Great Depression. It was a great reset. We had bubbles back there in the 20s. It got extreme, rich versus everyday people. When the bubbles burst, yes, it hurt the everyday person at first, but from then on, the everyday person's income and wealth grew faster than the richest. So we need this reset. It is false to say, oh, we can take this bubble economy and now engineer it for the everyday person. No, this is definitely being engineered against the everyday person.
And I think the establishment has not been reading history books. Elites almost never get away with what they're attempting right now.
Exactly. No, it never lasts. I just did a big issue in my newsletter on this income inequality. When it gets to these extremes, it never lasts. It tells you you're at the top of a major stock market and bubble peak that will not be seen for decades, and you're going to have to go through a big reset. And that's what we try to help people do in our book. And, by the way, our book today on harrydentresearch.com, it's free if you just pay shipping and handling $4.95, because we want people to hear this. If you look at what we say and listen to what people like you say, it's absolutely clear what's going on. There's nothing unclear about it at all.
Wow, I didn't know that. I mean, sometimes people say free book, and then it's $15 for shipping. $4.99. I mean, that really is what shipping costs.
That's what it costs us. That's not even the cost of the handling.
Well, that's amazing. So you're offering the book free today?
Sure, yeah. You guys pay $5 for shipping, and basically you get a free book.
Well, harrydentresearch.com. Everybody needs to get the book. It's excellent. I want to go to some phone calls now. Let's go ahead and talk to Steve in North Carolina. Thanks for holding her on the air.
Hello, gentlemen.
Go ahead.
Your watchers have limited time and information to do researching. I've kind of stumbled on some information that I just wanted to verify with you guys that is kind of...
Sure, brother. Go ahead and ask your question.
Basically, what it has to do with is Goldman Sachs. They had an article they posted back in 2007, 2008 on their website called BRICS Beyond. We gave $10 billion in bailout money to Goldman Sachs.
Well, it was a lot more than $10 billion worth, but yeah.
$10 billion.
It was a lot more than $10 billion.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like I said, limited time research is what we have. But what I'm getting to is that kind of threw a cog in my spokes, because the IMF versus the BRICS, the petrodollar, things that are going on. To find out that Goldman Sachs that we bailed out is heading up and constructing the BRICS is what this document states.
Yeah, they're heavily involved. It's Trilateral Commission. They're building 3 giant global corporate super governments and transferring national sovereignty into those. Senator Goldwater leaked it all back when they were first proposing it. And so when they claim that the Federal Reserve System is in competition with the BRICS, it's total theater, at least at one level. The Russians and Chinese are wanting to move to BRICS, thinking it's their alternative, but it's part of the same larger structure, in my view. But that's a really great question. Hundreds of billions since 2008 have been given to mainly foreign banks out of the banker bailout package. Mr. Dent, your comment on that statement.
Yeah, and more than that, just the U.S. alone, $3.5 trillion in free money printing. They buy these bonds, inject new money into the financial system. If they'd have given this $3.5 trillion to households, we could have sent $30,000 per household. Don't you think people would rather have that? This has all gone into financial institutions. It's been more like 10 to 11 trillion worldwide. So yes, there's bailout money, there's special interest money, but this broad QE is just creating money that goes into financial institutions and turns into a gambling casino. Goldman Sachs makes most of their money not on investment banking anymore, and these brokerage firms don't do it as much on brokerage or banks on banking. They're speculating on markets that are rigged, where they can leverage up, borrow money for nothing, leverage up, and make high profits on low-risk investments until the bubbles burst. And then they all go down, and then they're all going to be wanting bailouts again.
Sure.
I mean, Goldman Sachs is the last person anybody should give a bailout. They do just fine on their own greed.
Thank you so much, Steve. We got to jump. Jerry in West Virginia, go ahead.
much. Thank you for taking my call. I'm calling for the closure of the United Nations in New York. It is the biggest joke and the waste of money. It appears to be doing nothing, never did anything, and it just...
well, it's trying to usurp U.S. sovereignty, so it does do something. It basically is a criminal organization.
I beg your difference. I don't think it does anything, but I think with the collapse of the U.S., the only outlet we have is to start a war with Ukraine, to get everybody taken away from the realities of the war, just like sports do. And thirdly, I would like to see everybody out, the politicians, and out their foibles and out their roundabout ideas, and then begin to really put the pressure on the politicians that they fess up to their faults. And that may be a way of getting back at some of the revenge we need to do at the moment. I'm 73, and I'm worried about the future of social
No, I hear you, brother. I hear you. They're planning to loot that. Quick question for Dent. He can answer it after the break. Do you have any questions for Dent?
Yes, I have a question. What's happening to Social Security?
Great question, Jerry. We'll try to answer that straight ahead. They're getting ready to loot the education funds. That ought to tell you where they're going. Private education funds.
This hour brought to you by InfidelBodyArmor.com. When it hits the fan, don't be left without the body armor that will save your life. With prices starting at just $374.99 and ships free. Get yours at InfidelBodyArmor.com. Just won't quit.
Hi, Ted Anderson with Midas Resources. Is it time to convert paper 401ks and IRAs to solid gold and silver yet? Get our 10 Reasons book free. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to generate an endless supply of natural silver solutions. SilverLungs.com. You'll find no wild claims or pseudoscience, just a lifetime of nano-sized pure silver solutions. The Silver Lungs generator allows you to make your own, so stop paying for silver solutions. The unique lung delivery system targets respiratory infections where other silver solutions simply cannot reach. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at SilverLungs.com. That's SilverLungs.com.
The month of February is all about Valentine's Day. Big heart-shaped boxes filled with delicious candy. What if we, the Patriots, hijacked Valentine's Day and instead made it about human liberty and individual empowerment? I'm all about human potential. I'm all about the individual being empowered. The establishment is the opposite. That's why they spike our water with fluoride and GMO, estrogen mimickers, and the rest of the garbage. InfoWars is striking back in the month of February with Human Empowerment Month. How we can come together and win the human race. And to celebrate the kickoff of Human Empowerment Month, we're slashing prices on InfoWarsLife.com products like Super Male and Super Female Vitality. The sale is only running for the month, 20% off, and there's a lot of other powerful specials at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWarsLife.com, celebrating human potential in the month of February. Visit InfoWarsLife.com to find this special and many others in the month of February. Again, InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139.
It's very easy to be a criminal. All you need to burglarize a home is one simple household tool, a pair of scissors. If your home security system can be compromised by a criminal using scissors, then you're making it easy for them. Almost every home security system, even those sold by big-name companies, has a weakness. The phone line. You shell out $1,500, get locked into a long-term contract, and think you're safe. But a burglar can destroy your alarm in seconds with one snip. And when a burglar cuts your phone line, you're defenseless. Simply Safe Home Security is the smarter choice. Built by Harvard engineers, Simply Safe uses a wireless connection to call the cops. Scissors can't cut it, and that means your home stays safe. 24/7 professional monitoring is under $15 a month with no contract. Simply Safe Home Security keeps you safer than the other guys for half the cost. Protect your home with the alarm you can trust. Simply Safe. Go to simplysafedefense.com now for an exclusive 10% offer. That's simplysafedefense.com.
Can run on for a long time. Run on for a long
Welcome back. You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. We've got Mr. Dent 5 minutes in the next hour, then he'll be gone. We'll take 3 or 4 more calls in this segment, then a few more in the next segment. Then I'm going to shift gears into all the world news and breaking news we haven't gotten to yet. For me, this is what the world boils down to. You've got government by conquest, government by liberty, innovation, free market, freedom. And again, you're always somewhere in that spectrum. But you have a lot of special interests that want the command and control, controlled markets, where they use the government to set up an economic system where the old robber barons are in control and nobody else is. And that's where we're going. And then they're scapegoating capitalism that brought us here, even partial capitalism, as the problem, and saying socialism and communism and collectivism is the answer when it's a nightmare. And if you look at what they've done all over the world, they get you addicted to these pension funds, public and private, then they loot them, then they take them. And now they're announcing they want to take over and tax education funds. They want to start taking, to quote, protect them. So I don't think the stock market's safe. I don't think 401ks are safe. And I've always said this because I've seen the very same globalists steal these things by increment all over the world. Now, maybe Harry Dent has something else to say about this, but what's your view?
Well, again, we see this extreme income inequality. It's always a sign of that's what's happened. The oligarchs, like you say, business people say they love the free market system. They do not. They always want a monopoly or a government-favored position if they can get them. So that special interest just should not be allowed to lobby, period. That'd be my first rule for a free market capitalism. Capitalism does work the best. No socialist or communistic system has done well in the past or for long, but the free market capitalist system does need some simple rules and regulations so that these oligarchs don't take over, and they have totally 100% taken over here. I mean, in Europe, U.S., but even more so here, special interests have taken over.
I want to go back to calls. What happens, though, to Social Security? What do you think about its future?
Well, they're going to have to restructure that in a lot of ways. There's $67 trillion in unfunded entitlements. That's more than our total government and private debt at $60 trillion a day, which is way more than people think. So I count about $129 trillion. Unfunded entitlements, like a company that promised pension or health care.
There are more than 70 towns, I was reading years ago in the LA Times, in California, where the average bureaucrat is retiring on $500,000 salaries.
Yeah.
I mean, that is insane, where you've got city managers getting paid $800,000 a year.
But, out of that $67 trillion, the great majority, 80-some%, is health care entitlements, and the rest is Social Security. So Social Security has no chance of working out over time with fewer people, and the fact that governments did not fund all the benefits they promised. They're going to worry about it later. Well, health care is way worse than that. And it's the same with corporations. A lot of companies have high unfunded entitlements.
So it's bubbles on bubbles on bubbles on bubbles. Andy in Ohio, quick question for Mr. Dent.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. Long-time fan, first-time caller. My question is pretty simple. I'm 29 years old. I have a family of 3, wife and a young child. What are some things on a small level that I can do to stay, survive, and get through? I'm also self-employed, to get through a financial collapse if it were to happen this year?
Well, self-employed, you have more flexibility. I would do everything to cut your costs, increase your income in your business. If you can do some things part-time outside of your business, cash and cash flow are king here. But you got to realize what I tell people, it's going to be the young people that are going to win when this bubble bursts. Because the price of education, which is the worst thing can happen to younger people, and as you age, healthcare, those bubbles are going to burst. The cost of a house and mortgage are going to get lower. We got more downside on the housing market just to erase the bubble started in 2000. So things are going to go your way if you can hunker down the bubble.
That's right. Hard-working people will end up coming out on top during a depression. But hard-working people get screwed during these rigged economies. We'll be right back in 1 minute with the third hour. Stay with us.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
The month of February is all about Valentine's Day. Big heart-shaped boxes filled with delicious candy. What if we, the Patriots, hijacked Valentine's Day and instead made it about human liberty and individual empowerment? I'm all about human potential. I'm all about the individual being empowered. The establishment is the opposite. That's why they spike our water with fluoride, GMO, estrogen mimickers, and the rest of the garbage. InfoWars is striking back in the month of February with Human Empowerment Month. How we can come together and win the human race. And to celebrate the kickoff of Human Empowerment Month, we're slashing prices on InfoWarsLife.com products like Super Male and Super Female Vitality. The sale is only running for the month, 20% off, and there's a lot of other powerful specials at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWarsLife.com, celebrating human potential in the month of February. Visit InfoWarsLife.com to find this special and many others in the month of February. Again, InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139.